everybody, welcome back to Time to Go. Bob here. Appreciate you stopping by today. So for the last little while, I've been kind of dodging the Homage watches on the channel, particularly the Submariner Homages. Not that I have an issue with them, but there was quite a few coming out and it was just getting a little bit boring for me. But a few weeks back, I made a trade, and included in the trade was this Tisell Submersible. I was just going to flip it and get my cash back for it, but it's such a good watch. I thought it deserved a video. So at the end of the video, I think what I want to do is just talk a little bit about my thoughts on Homage watches. But before we do that, let's get into the Tisell. Alright, so if you're watching this, you've probably seen a number of videos on the Tisell Submersible, so I'll try to keep this one short, but man, at the price of right around 300 US dollars, they have quite the product here. They tick all the boxes we look for in a quality diver, except for maybe one, which for some is the fact that it's not an original design. There's good points on either side of the Homage watch argument, and we'll get to where I kind of stand on that in just a minute here, but I just want to walk you through what's happening here with the Tisell. So specs-wise, this watch has got it all going on for it. We have a water resist of 200 meters. The crystal is a domed sapphire crystal, and by the looks of it there, we do have an AR coating. The bezel insert is ceramic, and the watch is running the Miyota 90S5 high beat movement, which from what I understand is essentially the 9015 but without date. Size-wise, the case comes in at a width of 40.5 millimeters. Lug to lug is 47 millimeters. We have a thickness of just a little over 13 millimeters, and we have a lug opening of 20 millimeters. The dial and handset are going to be very familiar, so I won't go into much detail there. The dial does have a very slight sunburst effect, and I'm not sure if that's going to show up on camera here. As far as lume goes, the lume is really good. They're using a heavy application of C3 Superluminova. It does have that initial fade like most watches, but it's going to stay visible pretty deep into the night. The bezel action is decent. It's not the best, but it's not bad. There's a small amount of play there. Nothing serious, though. The bezel is a 120-click unidirectional bezel, and if we can get it back to the 12 here, you can see that everything lines up perfectly. The polished and brushed finishes on the case are nicely done. This is a pre-owned model, so you might see a couple hairline scratches here and there, but no complaints with the finish work. The case back, the same as the Submariner, is completely unmarked. It's just a plain case back. If we look at the crown, we do have the crown signed with the Tisell T. Now, other than one minor issue, the bracelet is excellent. We've got solid end links. The links are screwed for easy sizing. The clasp is really well done, except for that one issue, and that is the glide lock style system that they're using. It's really nice to be able to get that good size on the wrist, but one thing I find is when you pop it in place and lock it in place, it sort of pops out a little bit too easy, and I find when I put my hand through the bracelet to put it on, it pops out occasionally, so you have to readjust it. Considering the price, it's no biggie, but I've just found that you have to be a little bit more careful putting it on. So speaking of putting it on, let's take a look on wrist. Alright, so here it is, and on wrist it really wears like a dream. Really comfy with the fact that you can dial in the sizing so good with that clasp. So when it comes to Homage watches, and especially Submariner Homages, again, I don't have a problem with them, but I have a hard time getting attached to them. They're fun for a while, they're cool to have around, but I do a purge every few months, a kind of a sell-off, I guess you could say, and they always tend to be the first on the chopping block. They just never make the cut and stay in the collection. There's some really great ones out there, including the Tisell. I've seen the Jeanneau Ocean Rover in person. The hype is real with those. The build quality is really nice, but I just know I won't connect with them. That being said, they're cool watches. They're fun to have and fun to wear for a while, and I get why people love them, and I'm sure I'll have more pass through the channel, but I'd love to hear what you guys think on them. Do you love them, hate them, maybe just prefer original designs? And I guess that's where I stand, especially when talking at the higher priced ones. I'd kind of prefer an original design once you start creeping up there in price. So that's going to be it for today, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Homage watches in the comments below. Appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.